We are live on Twitch and YouTube live today. And I got to sneeze. Goodness gracious. That was a rapid fire. Brutal. Thank you, Keith. God bless you too. Oof. I'm sure it's my allergies. I'm sure it's the pollen count, or I'm sure it's having a fourth animal in the house. I'm sure it's a lot of things. And now it's one of those where you think it's going to, I'm like, I just sneezed twice. I don't do a third sneeze. But now I'm like, it's tingling. It might be. Haas, don't be saying profanity at me. I'm going to do my Mr. Rogers thing. I'm going to put my socks on. So. Oh. I never, ever go barefoot. Literally, I just took a shower. Got out of the shower. There's Chad. Good morning, Chad. I get out of the shower. I get from the shower to my office, and I immediately have to put socks on. And my socks will stay on literally till I go to bed. I take my socks off. I cannot sleep with socks on. But during the day, I never take my socks off. Never go barefoot. Ever. Ever. I also do not touch my feet. That freaks me out. It creeps me out if somebody is touching my feet. If you accidentally brush against my feet, if the dog runs over my foot, whatever. I don't like it. Oh, there's a lot of TMI in here today, buddy. A lot. This might not be the episode you want to watch. One of my second ex-wife, she would get her, with a medi-pedi crap, spend all the money on her nails and feet and stuff. And she would be like, "You're gonna go with me." I'm like, "No, nobody's touching my feet. No, thank you." Like, I cut my own nails. Thank you. Got my rejection for the dark on Saturday. So how long was it then, Keith? What was the total number of hours? I guess they liked it better than most stuff, though, right? If it went that long. 3 days. That's like a lifetime. That's like a second round for other places. I'm not feeling all that great today, I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe you had a big pile. Yeah, maybe. But, you got to be positive. I'd like to think they really liked it. Chester's got up. Excellent. Put an hour into Owl Draft 2. Got the ferrets out. Another few hours in Owl. Then paid Bowden his out behind the barn royalties. Now I'm here with you folks. Nice. And Bowden's like, now I can afford to buy this bakery outright. I don't have to work for you people anymore. I own you. No second coffee today. My stomach is roiling. It was one of those where I I was nauseous. I was like, I think I'm going to actually throw up. When's the last time I threw up? It's been a while. I know there are some people that can tell you, the last time I threw up was January 18th, 2018 or something. I don't know all that. But I do know it's been a while. So then I had a cinnamon raisin bagel with cream cheese right before I took a shower. Yeah, vomit free since 90. That, you know what? That sounds about right. No, I probably threw up about 3 years ago. I'm going to say about 3 years. I definitely threw up the first time I got COVID. But I don't think it was the COVID. I just think it was something I ate because I wasn't feeling good to begin with. It's like that Seinfeld episode where he can tell you the exact date. Miss Keith, I wrote 2K words this morning. Nice. On book 5, I want it done so I can get back to another idea that may be worthy of an agent and join you guys on that endeavor. 2K is great. So have you figured out like what book 6 is going to be, and you're just going to keep writing them until you run out of ideas? Or you're like, I'm going to do 10 books in this, or whatever it would be. I had an idea for a crime thriller novella, but I'm like, I don't want to start anything else. Tigers broke their losing streak last night. I think they're really suffering from half the team being on. Oh, I know. It's ridiculous. You got your no clue on book 6. You know, maybe the Loch Ness Monster from Ohio. Tigers got their best pitcher hurt. Their second best pitcher is a jerk, which everybody knew. That's why the Astros let him go. Great pitcher, but Framber is a jerk. Definitely not that. I'm just trying to help. Just trying to help. I definitely got to get some writing in. I got writing in. I ended up getting about 1,200 words in yesterday when I wrote with Peter and Chad. I never got back to it. I ended up doing other stuff, like taking a nap. And you should appreciate it. But I need to I finished a chapter yesterday of this book. So I'm like, you know what? I just started chapter 27 now. I broke 45,000 words. I need to get some words in. Today and tomorrow and Wednesday. Thursday I'm going to lunch with the group. That way they suspended him after just one hit because of his reputation, because that was weird. They suspend him. The next day, a Tiger pitcher hit a batter in the back and crickets. Yeah, he has a reputation as being an awful teammate and just being an awful person. And that has followed him for years. And the fact that it was just so blatant, him throwing its story. And that's why everybody was mad. But last year, I remember when he was in Houston, one of his fielders committed an error, like the shortstop committed an error, and he started yelling at him from the pitcher's mound, basically, get your shit together. kind of thing. And then when he got to the dugout, the manager basically got in his face like, what are you doing showing up here? And then he pushed the manager. So he got suspended for that. He's been suspended a bunch of times for his attitude. He's basically, that's why he didn't get the big contract. That's why basically the Tigers were like, yeah, screw it. We need a good pitcher. I mean, he's a great pitcher. He eats up innings. He's going to win you some games, but you also got to take into account the clubhouse. We get time for that nonsense. Exactly. There's Charlie. Also, Charlie put something else out today. I have not read it. Is in my inbox, or the box of in, as us young kids like to say. I don't think any of us say that. I'm going to get some writing in though. I'm on Twitch and YouTube Live today. I don't know how many people on Twitch. It's always weird because I get maybe one person will come into the chat from Twitch, and I'll see that they're coming in from Twitch. But then when at the end I'm like, oh, 15 people showed up at some point during this. Nobody says anything. And everybody told me everything I watched was that YouTube Live, you're not going to get a lot of interactions. But Twitch, you'll get a lot of interactions, and it's been the total opposite for me. And I'm not even counting you guys because you guys are just in. You guys most of you were on Twitch, and you've come over. I'm talking about like brand new people who just kind of show up every once in a while. This shirt seems very tight. I guess I didn't lose as much weight this week in the last week as I thought I did. Although this shirt 2 weeks ago didn't fit me at all, so there is that. We don't count Haas. I didn't say that. I mean, it was this kind of the subtext of that, but I didn't say that. I was a lurker on YouTube for a long time before I would comment. Oh, nice. Chess says, now that I'm bragging about my MacBook, I'll probably finally start streaming again. Did the audio and video sound and look good yesterday, Armin? Yeah, you look fine. You look so pretty yesterday. Sorry I didn't tell you that. It was fun. Is there a big learning curve? I've never used a MacBook or anything like that. Is there a huge difference? And this is from somebody who's not tech savvy. Charlie thanks Haas for all the comments on his videos this weekend. You definitely need to start streaming again. Just obviously, please don't stream at noon, between noon and 2. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday. There's a learning curve, but it's not bad. It's mostly in the keyboard shortcuts, which I use a lot of. Need to get used to that. Haas says, you've got a good channel, Charlie. Keep up the good work. Where's the deliverance music when Armin compliments chat? They won't let me. YouTube will ban the thing. I can't. I would love to, but I can't. I can't do it. Here's my problem now. I'm like, oh, I got to the next chapter. I don't know what this next chapter is going to be. I know which point of view it will be. I can look that way. Oh, so here's what I realized what you said. Beanies don't count. Beanies are not hats. Beanies, or as we call them in Russian, babushka, which means grandmother, or what do you call it in Italian? Toque, they call them. People call them toques. I call them, what do you call it? Now I can't even think of the word. But, I mean, I have one right here. I have my Slayer one right here. I could wear this. I'm fine. I look good. I'm talking about hats. I'm talking about stupid hats with brims and fedoras and crap like that. You wearing your beanie is fine. I wear that. I wear my beanie as soon as it drops so low, like 50 degrees here, 3 days out of the year. I love wearing mine. So that doesn't bother me. Now, if you had a hat on that was not a baseball hat, or you had something that wasn't your beanie, like then yeah. If you wore like a big giant straw hat, like a plantation owner, something like that, you wore a hat like the dude from any movie, then no, I don't want to see that. I still didn't answer my cowboy hat arm. So here's the thing. It depends on where you're from. If you are in a place where they wear cowboy hats, say you're from Texas or you're from, I've seen a lot of people in Arizona, you're from some parts of California, you're from Georgia, you're from Louisiana, you're from Alabama, I say wear a cowboy hat. I got no problem with the cowboy hat. Cowboy hats are manly. It's when you are wearing other hats that bothers me. And a woman wearing a hat is just annoying. Unless you're wearing yoga pants and you got a baseball cap on because you just came back from the gym, I got no problem with that. You should wear a Stetson. I should buy a big 10-gallon hat. Like Chuck Buda coming from New Jersey and wearing a cowboy hat? No. How deep is that hole you dug when you said Britney Spears should play Shelley? So that's kind of a running joke with us. When we first met, she had a bunch of pictures on her. We met on Plenty of Fish, the dating app. And on there, she had a bunch of pictures of herself, obviously. And one of the pictures was her looking over her shoulder, holding her friend's newborn. And just the angle of it, she looked like Britney Spears. I'm a big Britney Spears fan. Musically, no, but the rest of it. Even the Crazy, I love the Crazy. So that was always the thing. I was like, you look like Britney Spears. 13 years ago. I'm not saying she doesn't now. I'm just saying. So when I said that, and again, I had no idea what any of those questions were going to be. So she's like, but afterwards, she was like, really, Britney Spears? I'm like, I don't know. I panicked. That was probably the only one I really panicked on. Chad says, or like the giant hat on the yellow cowboy guy from Corn Pop cereal. Yeah, but he owns that hat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's Corn Pops. Corn Pop. He's very Texan, so I get that. Charlie says, I wear a cowboy hat in the summer to save the back of my neck. Yeah, but you're in a part of the country that it makes sense. Okay? If I grew up, anybody who wore a cowboy hat in New Jersey was a douchebag. Saying that, I will say, when I was 18 or 19 years old, and I was going to a lot of concerts, I had this outfit that, man, I thought I looked good. So it was black jeans. I called them my John Bon Jovi boots. They were like ankle high, very soft leather black boots. I had a black button-down shirt with a bolo tie and a black cowboy hat that I would push back because I thought I was the dude from Hanoi Rocks. And my mullet. And I thought I looked good. I did not ever get laid in that outfit. And I wore it 100 times. Chad says, a woman wearing a ton of makeup with giant hoop earrings and a baseball hat is sexy. I agree with you, Chad. Those giant hoop earrings, man, that was, and growing up in New Jersey, that was mostly like the Puerto Rican girls. That was any of the Spanish chicks with those, and the Italian girls with the giant earrings, the hoop earring. Man, I love those. Those were sexy. I agree with that. A woman wearing a cowboy hat is not bad. No, if it's part of the look, if it fits her, I get it. Now, if you're wearing it, again, if you're from New Jersey and you're wearing a cowboy hat, like, hey, I'm in Maine and I'm wearing no. That's then you're doing that for the fashion of it. And no. If you're doing it because, hey, I go out and I ride horses, I got no problem with that. Just don't wear those giant, antebellum Southern hats and all and that, or with fruit on it. Don't wear all those. Women look fantastic in cowboy hats. They do. I'll give you that. You know what? I will give you that. It's probably the only hat for a woman to wear that I'm like, that is sexy. The rest of the outfit has to match too. You know what I'm saying? There was a girl that I was quite attracted to that would come in when I was a manager at JC. I was gonna say Sears. I did work at Sears, but JC Penney, and cowboy hat and a sundress and cowboy boots, and man was she hot. She says, "What about Bon Jovi talking about being a cowboy, but he's from Jersey?" Yeah, and what did Doc McGee say when they went and took those pictures? You're from New Jersey. Stop playing cowboy. I mean, Doc knew, and Doc was selling kilos of cocaine to everybody. Charlie says, I can't condone bolo ties. Yeah, I thought that was a good look. Again, this is like 1989. I thought that was a good look for me. Because it was right, it was all of the, it was Wanted Dead or Alive, it was Cinderella, it was Poison, it was all those bands, all Tesla, all writing cowboy songs. None of them really living it, just writing songs about cowboys for some reason. And so a lot of us would dress up like that to attract the women, which did not work. He says he's a steel horse cowboy, not the same, Chad. No, he rides a steel horse. Yeah, he rides. There's a difference. What about sombreros? That seemed to me to be a racial thing. Okay, if you are South American, if you're Mexican, and you're wearing a sombrero, and again, you're wearing a sombrero not to the mall. You're wearing a sombrero because you're working, because you're out in the sun, something like that. I got no problem with that. Men or women, no problem with a sombrero. That was a thing, but not sombreros. But the thing was the Mexican, what did they call those? It was like the pullovers, the woven pullovers with all the bright colors and stuff. That was a thing when I was in high school for about 5 minutes. I had to have one. No, Chad, you're right. My granddad might have been the last person to wear a bolo tie. We buried him with it. And then all the bolo ties are gone. Chaz has never wore a bolo tie in my life. I had that one. I remember leaving the house one time, and my mother, because I had moved back in with my parents several hundred times in my life, and I remember coming down the stairs in that outfit, and my mother started laughing, and she's like, "Is that a bolo tie? We're in New Jersey. What are you doing?" I'm like, women are gonna love this. And then I remember the next morning she was like, "How did that tie work?" I'm like, I did not get a look from anyone. How about those yarmulkes? I mean, that's more of a religious thing, so I can't blame you for that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if that's a look for you, I got no problem with it. If that's your thing, I got no problem with that at all. Sarape, what is that? Did I even say it right? Serape? Long blanket, shawl, or poncho. Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly what we were wearing for about, I don't know, it was about like 2 months. And you know why? Because in Seaside Heights at the boardwalk, they were selling them. And it was just like you put your head in it and you just walked around with it and you look so stupid and ridiculous. And again, I am so glad there are no pictures of me from back then. I live near the world's oldest rodeo, so cowboy hats, bolo ties, and boots are the norm. There you go. My middle kid, she lives in Katy, Texas, and she's always like, "Oh, we're going to the rodeo Friday night." I'm like, "That sounds awful. That sounds like everything's going to smell like horse shit." She's like, "Oh, it does, but you get used to it." I'm like, "Nah, that's not for me." Funny story about your short. Took Lisa to Longhorn yesterday, and guess what she ordered? What did she order? Not a big Longhorn fan. Those rolls, though, are killer. Wait, you went to Longhorns and she ordered chicken nuggets? Chicken tenders? She ordered a shirt? Is she wearing the shirt? Chicken tenders? That's funny. I mean, you know what? Maybe their chicken tenders are good. The rest of it, it's not really great. We are not really fans of their foods. My wife went to Atlanta today. She'll be gone till tomorrow night. So I'm on my own fending like an animal. I'm thinking of getting a pizza tonight. Getting a pizza and eating half tonight and a half tomorrow. But I'm not going to order. I like their outlaw ribeye. That looks like spam. My wife is not a fan of their steaks, of their ribeye or anything else. She and I'm going to tell you how I know that's true, because she will put like A1 or something on it. She'll put a steak sauce on it there because she just doesn't have any flavor, and she normally will not do that. The steak needs to have some kind of flavor. How about those puffy shirts, though? I never wore a puffy shirt. I probably should have. I think if I got to that, I probably would have gotten to that point at some point, though. Definitely a puffy shirt. But man, their rolls are just amazing. So anyway, I would order a pizza, but I'm thinking of ordering a Sicilian. Now, there's one place close here. They actually deliver. But their Sicilian is dry. And I'm not a big fan of a dry Sicilian. So I'm going to have to find another place. Probably just take a nice little ride. Go pick me up some Sicilian. Bring it home. Eat half of it. Eat the other half tomorrow for lunch. So that'll be good. My wife is not a fan of Sicilian. She's barely a fan of pizza, to be honest with you. Every now and then she's like, oh, let's have pizza. And I'm like, all right. When we first started dating, I remember we went and got pizza. I think like Mellow Mushroom. And then that was like saying like on a Sunday we hung out. And then it was like Thursday night we hung out. We went to the or Tuesday night we went to the trivia thing. And then at the place they had food and they had pizza, and I ordered pizza. She's like, you just had pizza a couple days ago. And I'm like, and? Like, I can literally eat pizza every day. It's pizza. If I rotated pizza, Chinese food, and burgers every meal, I could do that for the rest of my life and be happy with it. Maybe a meatball sub or something else thrown in there every now and then, but pretty much those are the go-tos. So I said to her, I'm going to order a pizza, Sicilian. She's like, yeah, I don't like those. I'm like, I know. That's why you're not here. Why the cat's away. Chess, I feel like the most ridiculous thing I ever wore were bandanas around my thigh in the late 80s, strategically folded to show the color band. Oh, I did that too. I did the Rudy Sarzo thing where I would take two bandanas, a red and a blue one or whatever colors, and I would tie them together, and then I would put them around my neck. Then I would have, because I was a lot skinnier then, all through junior high, a bandana, I would wrap it as a belt, and I would tie it up front. And then I would do the thigh one, and then I would do both wrists until I got Iron Maiden sweatbands. Then I would wear my Iron Maiden sweatbands all the time. Then as I got older and I started losing my hair, then I would do the Axl Rose. First, I would do just the front. I would do a red bandana, and then I just did the drug helmet thing once I started really losing my hair. Older God, I remember the bandana thing, yeah. Oh dear God, stupid typos. I like older God better. You know, like one of the great ones. Yeah, yeah, that bandana thing. I remember going down to Englishtown auction, the dirt mall, and there was somebody who had like, the bandanas were like 50 cents each, or like three for $1. And I remember one time we would go like once a month, and my dad was like, "How many these things do you need?" And I'm like, "I need every color." And he's like, "Here's $20, just but then you're not buying any more bandanas." And I remember like, "Holy crap, this is the greatest!" Well, I'm gonna get these three different camouflage ones. I'm gonna get a pink one. I'm gonna get a blue one. I'm gonna get an orange one. I'm gonna get yellow. And I just went nuts. And I was just buying like, what was it, 60 bandanas or whatever. I think the guy even threw in a couple extra. And then I had this huge, huge pile of bandanas on the floor in my room. And then I would match colors. Well, listen, I got a blue, I got a teal Chuck Taylor sneaker, and I got a pink Chuck Taylor sneaker. So I'm going to do a green bandana on this wrist, and then I'm going to do a dark blue on this one. It was so ridiculous, my lack of fashion sense. Trace, I don't think I ever wore anything too crazy, but there was a year in junior high when I had a mullet. The only proof is my football picture that year. Oh, parachute pants. Oh God, yeah, junior high parachute pants were the coolest thing. My mom bought me a pair of parachute pants, but they were not tight. They were very, very baggy. And everybody else seemed to have really tight parachute pants. But I was only allowed to get one pair because we didn't have any money. Old Gods of Asgard is a great band. I will take your word for it, Keith. Yeah, God, parachute pants and bandanas all over. Keith says I was not cool in school. I wasn't cool either. I had that picture on one of my books. Let's see if we can find it. Do 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 do. Is it this one? I don't know if you're going to be able to see the picture. It's a little dark too on this cover. Can you see the picture or no? So it's me. I'm wearing a Van Halen t-shirt, one of the old school black t-shirts with the white sleeves. I have spiked bracelets on both wrists. Oh, I have a studded spiked belt, and also I have spiked where they like crotch things where they came down under my legs. I always had a folded bandana in my back pocket for no reason. I got the Rudy Sarzo bandanas around, and I got one tied to my it looks like a leopard skin one taped to my wrapped around my thigh. Man, that was a look. Chester's pizza has always been my favorite, but there was a time when I was broke in my little efficiency apartment. For weeks, I had to eat pizza from the dumpster breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You tire of it. Yeah, dumpster pizza probably will tire you out. Keith wore none of those things. Keith, I can imagine Keith was more like Michael J. Fox in the TV show where he wore nice suits and stuff to school. And he's like, "Mom, can you iron my shirt? I got to go to school." Keith always seemed to be that. To this day, I can only picture Keith in a collared shirt. Just had blue parachute pants with a few shirts from that Chams. Haas says that's why you weren't cool in school, Keith. Chaz says I wasn't cool until I quit school. Keith says I'm still not cool. Sad face. I don't remember Cham's brand. Let's look that up. Apparently, it's still around. Not to be confused with Chaps or Champ Sports. No, that says Champs. What are we doing here? Oh yeah, I remember all those stupid, all those stupid clothes. I remember the Cham stuff. Oh, awful. I went from my mom dressing me to my wife dressing me. I'd go all natural if I could. You have to throw in a few keywords like vintage or 80s. Yeah. Well, they just had a. I just saw a Pinterest board with a billion of them. Crazy. So I'm doing an interview tomorrow with Kyra Rauda. This is her latest book, which I read, and I'm going to be doing a review this afternoon. It's very good. I really like this a lot more than I thought I would. But now tomorrow, she's back home in California. She had a family emergency, so now instead of doing it in person at the library, now we're doing the interview um, uh, Zoom. We're doing a Zoom one. So I'm like, so I don't have to come to the library? They're like, no. I'm like, all right, that's fine. I get to stay home. All right, that's fine. Because I'll put a nice shirt on to do it. Just my wife only tries to dress me if we're doing something special, and she's like, "You're not going to wear that accused shirt to the wedding, are you?" My wife doesn't do that, but I'm usually pretty good with. I know like, most of the time I'm wearing. Obviously, I wear a black T-shirt most of the time, and there are times she's like, "We're going to," or she'll buy me. She's like, "Oh, here I bought you this green collared shirt, which you could wear to the wedding, whoever's wedding coming up." And I'm like, all right, make a mental note. I got to wear this. And then I'll go, hey, what shirt am I supposed to wear for the wedding? She's like, oh, the green one. I'm like, all right. And I knew being around her dad, never to wear like Iron Maiden or Judas, never wear anything even remotely that he would make a comment about. I remember the first time I met him, I met her grandmother and her mom and her aunt because they took her shopping because the house was being built. It was almost done, and grandmother's going to buy her a bedroom set. So we went to Ashley Furniture, and I met her. I met all of them then. We've been dating a few months. Obviously, then she finally told them, "Hey, I'm serious about this guy. I mean, look at me. You doubt it?" And then I was like, okay, I cannot wear. I got to dress up here. I cannot wear a concert shirt. I can't wear anything. So I'm like, I think I had like one collared shirt then. It was black, and I wore that. And then we were going to go to Cracker Barrel after, and then her dad had called and said, "Hey, I'll meet you at Cracker Barrel." So I'm like, "Oh, good. Now I'm going to meet the dad as well." Who was like, 6'4", 300 and something pounds. He's a big dude. And I'm sitting across from him, and he looks down. At the same time I look down, and I realize my watch. I had my watch on. I forgot to take my watch off, which has a skull on it. I like skulls. And I'm like, son of a bitch. He'd be like, why are you wearing a watch with a skull on it? And it was upside down. He says, is that a snowman on your watch? And then Shelly put her hand on my arm, covering it. She's like, yeah, he really likes snowmen. And he was like, all right. Yeah, wearing a watch with a snowman on it. It's like June. Wish I still had that snowman watch. He also, the first time when we walked outside, he and again, he's a big guy. He taps my gun. He goes, well, you like groceries. I'm like, wow. Too many happy birthday. Like, yeah, I should have, that would have made a lot of sense. Yeah, he would just like pop over sometimes. I'd be in like the middle of recording an interview, or I'd be doing something, but I would always have then I would always have some shirt on, that I'm like, oh great. Like shirts I wouldn't wear out of the house, like maybe my Dead Kennedy shirt or something, and I'm like, oh good, he's here, and I gotta go. Let me go. I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta change my shirt. I'm not feeling good, ladies and gentlemen. I was thinking this would pass, but I'm not sure if it's gonna. Hopefully, you don't see me throw up. No, I just had the flip coffee this morning, and a portion of the sales. Ooh, that's not good. Portion of sales go to dog rescues. My wife's like, "Hey, you got to buy this coffee because it's dog rescues." I'm like, "All right." And they're like, "Hey, I found another one. It's cat rescues. Equal opportunity. I'm going to buy these two brands." So I had a cup of that this morning, and then I was like, "Yeah, I don't feel all that great." I wasn't feeling great before, so it wasn't the coffee. But then I was like, maybe it's because sometimes I'm on the Rebelsis, and sometimes if I eat too much, I get nauseous, and if I don't eat, I start to get nauseous. So I was like, I better what do you call it? I better eat something. So I just had the cinnamon raisin bagel with some cream cheese. You caught something from that book signing is done incubating. Maybe. Could be it. I mean, I hope not. I hope it's just something that this too shall pass. So guess what I watched yesterday? No guesses? I watched because I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna do my typical. I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna find a movie. Oh, it will pass. It better pass. And I'm like, you know what? So I go on the search thing for cable. I have Xfinity cable. And so on there you can see free movies. And I'm like, oh, there's 14,000 free movies. And that's through all those, but it's also Netflix and it's Hulu because we're signed up, and it's like everything. It's Pluto TV, it's Tubi, it's all of them. I did not watch River's Edge, but if I had seen it, I would have watched it. I was like, literally, the first movie I see that looks halfway decent, I'm not even gonna look. I'm not even gonna go like, oh, I only want to watch documentaries or science fiction or thrillers or whatever. I'm just whatever movie it is. 14,000 movies. I'm gonna go through, and if anything catches my eye, I'm not even gonna think about it. Haas says, just had another Reezy ad. All I get are publishing ads. I'm still only getting golf ads. The weirdest thing. Never played a round of golf in my life. We just watched Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It's a horror movie, right? I believe. I'm not going to watch it. I watched a horror movie, though, technically. I watched Phantoms, which I had never seen, and I did not want to see. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch it. How bad can it be? It wasn't bad at all. For the amount of crap dumped on that movie, I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was watchable. Sort of horrible, at least. I'm like, you know what? Ben Affleck was good on it. Rose McGowan was good on it. I mean, wasn't bad. I never wanted to watch it because Phantoms was the first book when I was 13 years old that literally reading that literally scared me as a kid. Because you just didn't know what was going to happen. It was freaky. And then when they did the movie, I'm like, I don't want to see this because it's not going to be good. Like every other Dean Koontz movie. Odd Thomas was a good movie. Not great. The book was way better, but that was the problem with it. We watched Dust Bunny yesterday. I recommend. Haas says, I like Phantoms, not bad. Charlie says, Phantoms definitely gets shit on a lot more than it deserves. Yeah, exactly. But because everybody cracked on it so much, my thing was, well, this can't be good, and it's just gonna ruin the experience for me. It didn't. I thought, you know what, that's not bad at all. But then at that point, I was like, I don't want to watch another movie. I don't want to go to the well one too many times. You know what I'm saying? I had to sit through the first Five Nights at Freddy's for Final Guys, and I hated that piece of trash. To be fair, it's for the normies who aren't jaded and haven't seen every horror film out there. Which makes sense. Yeah, like I miss doing the movie review thing with JC, but also I don't miss it because sometimes it's like I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this movie. As you were watching this underwater movies or whatever, but it was like Kristen Stewart, the chick from the vampire garbage movies, and I'm like, I don't want to see this. I don't like her. She did walk around in her underwear a lot in it, though. I'm like, if she had any kind of shape to her, this might be interesting. It's kiddie horror. I only watched it because my kid played the games and wanted to watch the movie. Anything with Peter O'Toole is fine by me. He does quite well in that. I played the game, no desire to see the movie. The second Friday's movie is better than the first, but not by much. My kid liked it a lot. I guess it's probably geared towards your kid, right? You know, I would imagine that's what it would be. I'm thinking I might do a little over an hour today, and that's about it. Yeah, pre to early teens who played the games. Of course, the third part of that, Freddy Got Fingered. I don't think they should watch that one, though. I think that one should be off limits to the kids. We have to do 3 hours. All right, you want to see me puke an hour two? I'm fine with that. No, you can't see that. Yeah, you. I don't suggest anybody ever seen that. I remember seeing that with somebody. I can't remember who. I might have been like on a date with somebody, and she put it on and thought it was hysterical. And right then I knew I'm going to sleep with this lady, but I will never talk to her again because she thinks this is high comedy. I believe I did sleep with her. I did sleep with her, then Frank Edler married her. The hell's Frank? Yes, it says I have 5 live viewers on YouTube, and I have 2 on Twitch. What should I use? What should I do product placements now. What type of books should I do? I know what I'm going to do for this. Bigfoot books. I'm going to tag a dozen Bigfoot books on this one. Bigfoot at Skinwalker Ranch. That's got to be a fun book. Yep, I try to tag Keith's book on there, but it doesn't come up. My book, High on Bigfoot, comes up, though. I'm going to definitely tag that one in there. Trying to see if my other book, Beast, my other one comes up. It does not. All right, that's good enough. Good enough. Well, that's weird. Is it only on Amazon? I can't tag anything from Amazon. The products are all going to be Target, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, stuff like that. So usually, not always, usually if they're on anything other than Amazon, it will come up. Yeah, that's why Memoir of a Monster. That's why I could not find it. Are you self-published or traditional? I am a hybrid. I work with publishers and I also have self-published a lot of books. A lot of both. But now my goal is to get an agent and never self-publish again. I say that, and I probably have about 10 books that still will get self-published in the next 3 years. Autoracine. They are on Twitch. We have people on YouTube Live. We have people also on Twitch. I'm fine either way. I'm like 3-4 chapters into Lorraine's book so far. Torsten says, yeah, I was searching through writing and reading as it seemed to be the only real time can marshal myself to get writing done. Real time. Yeah. Also just use Alto. That's everyone's. All right. Yeah, that would be easy. I only do I only do Twitch on Mondays now. And usually the rest of the week during the weekdays I'll just be on YouTube Live. And I'm supposed to be writing, right now, but I'm going through emails. Choices about how far into it I am on it. Yeah. So we've met some characters so far. Something's not right. Just got to figure out what's going on. Anybody else look at their own work and think they shouldn't be allowed to write stories? Imposter syndrome kicking your ass, Haas. Alto says, what do you do? Do you write, do Q&A, or just whatever takes your fancy at the time? I'm supposed to be writing. Technically, I come here every day to write. But really, we just talk about random, weird, strange things. We were talking about whether or not people should wear hats. Was our big one for the day so far. Talking about chicken tenders. We just talk about anything random that we want to talk about. But the idea here is for me to come on and write. And then on my YouTube channel, I do writing videos. I do book reviews. I do a lot of different things. It's Armand's Opinion is the name of the channel. And I have a bunch of different things. So, full-time author, 15 years. I'm able to make a living doing this. So just basically kill some time every day. I just wrote a line. Ches's Haas, I do look at some older short stories and get a little embarrassed. They're nothing like who I became. It's like watching a home movie of you running around in kindergarten. Alto says, one day I shall publish something. It may be hot garbage, but then I can say I tried. Exactly. Ches says, it's less the writing and more the themes. I found that a lot of my older stuff is thinking the reader was an idiot, and I had to explain everything to them. And the ideas are good, but the dialogue I would write would be awful. So I've definitely gotten better in almost 40 years of doing this. Keith says, I've always been a fantastic storyteller. Writing, that's another skill I may or may not have. Obviously, I'm a phenomenal storyteller. I mean, everything I talk about is phenomenal. And I'm humble. Don't forget how humble I am. Troy says I'm a dumbass. I struggle with all of it. You know what? At least you know, though. I mean, isn't that part of the solution? Knowing you're a dumbass. I don't believe you're a dumbass. Although, don't wear a fedora around me. This is the channel. This is the channel. Not arguing with Charlie. For some reason, I got like a little. I get a little pop-up thing for a pop-out chat, which I don't think I've seen before. And so it blocks like the last word. Haas feels the same way, Charlie. That one was too real, and I see videos about dealing with imposter syndrome and writer's block. Gonna follow and look into these. I appreciate it. When you watch the videos, you're gonna see an ad, several ads maybe. You got to watch at least 33 seconds of the ad before you can skip. That's how I get paid. Just throwing it out there. I appreciate it. Haas says, I was looking at my work last night and realized I hadn't written a story. I had written stage directions. Yeah, that's not good. You got to dive in. You got to get into the meat of the story. Troy says, but the weird thing is whenever I think I've written something good, I can never sell it and get terrible feedback. But if I dash off some half-assed thing, it'd sell immediately and people like it. Yeah, I can never, ever figure out what is good and what is bad. Ever. Troy says, I have stories where I feel like that, Haas. Troy says, you're going to see a lot of that. Stop that, Charlie. Be nice. Thanks, Charlie. That actually helps a lot. We never know what is going to resonate with readers, Charlie. Yeah. I have several stories that I'm like, this is the greatest thing I have ever read. I've probably ever read. Still can't sell the damn thing. And then I've like, oh, this is a good idea, and I just whip something up. It's like music. You always hear like, oh yeah, like, Jenny Lane wrote Cherry Pie in 15 minutes because the record label wanted a hit, and he was like, let's just write some garbage so they shut up, and boom, and that became the entire band to their detriment. I'm definitely done with coffee for the day. I got to look up some pizza. Sicilian pizza near me. I wonder if that is just because you're not really thinking about it, which probably won't help for me as I overthink. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing that makes no sense. So this place. This place is in Yulee. I don't know where it is. It's the Jimmy Buffett Memorial Highway. Maybe I'll go here. Maybe I'll find out what their thing is. What is today? Monday? Today is Pasta BOGO Monday. Served with 2 garlic knots. Buy 1 pasta, get 1 free. I tend to overthink on a lot of stuff too. See, here's the problem. All this stuff looks really good. So it's like I want a pizza, but then they have other stuff. I'm getting a pie. They have a white pie, which Frank does not like, I believe. Yeah, you guys still watching? Thing blinked for a second there. Tris, I haven't read your stuff yet, Haas, but do you usually write in a minimalistic style or a more descriptive one? Haas says I try to be descriptive, but I try not to overdo it either. I think you might find that I write economically, if that's a term. Alto says still on for me. Okay, good. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, just like the screen went blank. He's still watching. All right, good. Now I got to figure out which Sicilian thick crust. Here's going to be the problem with it. It's 16 by 16, right? Which is great. But it consists of 9 pieces. Do I eat 5 pieces tonight or 4 pieces tonight? Or 3 pieces tonight? 3 pieces for lunch and 3 pieces for dinner tomorrow. They got a regular Sicilian. They got a margarita Sicilian, which is fresh mozzarella, basil, and Parmesan cheese. Saucy trio Sicilian, marinara sauce, pesto sauce, olive vodka sauce, mozzarella cheese, and Parmesan cheese. I don't like just a it's got to have something on it. It looks like the only thing they do is pepperoni. Ugh. And they drizzle it with Mike's Hot Honey. I don't want Mike's Hot Honey. We're not going to order from here. I want some toppings. Everybody's still here. I don't know what happened. That was weird. It's like I'm like KT's Pizza. I might just do that again, but I just felt like it was dry. Dry. Well, they're closed today anyway. We're not going there. Let's see if Black Cat has anything. Order from the most mom and pop DIY place you can find. That's what I'm trying to find. Like I'm not trying to find anything that is what do you call it? I'm not doing any chains or any of that crap. This is the problem. I'm burping. They don't have they don't have a, what do you call it? I asked for Sicilian pizza. They don't have Sicilian pizza. These damn liars. Damn you all to hell. Stoner's Pizza, they're awful now. I always try not to get the, like, oh, we're going to order from Papa John's or something, you know? This is all the way across town. I don't want to go. I don't want to go cross town. Crosstown traffic. Where the heck is this? Where's Goodfellas? This person complaining because it was too hot. It's a pizza. I mean, it's named Goodfellas Pizza. Can't be that bad, right? Except again, I don't see. Why are you listing it? It's like they're forcing me to go to that other one. I'm gonna have to go into Georgia for pizza. As is the last, I got to get back to work. Enjoy the pizza when you settle on one, and hopefully catch you again. Thanks for streaming. Thanks for hanging out with us. Like I said, every Monday we're here on Twitch, but we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and usually some Tuesdays and Thursdays. We are on at noon Eastern Standard Time. We are on YouTube Live, so come hang out with us. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to have to. The problem is I want some toppings on it. Also, says you're never on at noon. You're always on about 15 minutes early. You realize how each I have to get up just to catch this chat. I mean, if you want to be first, you got to get up early. Early Haas gets the worm. You ever hear that saying? Here's the problem, Haas. I'm sitting here and I'm like, it's a 20 of, it's a quarter of. What am I going to do? Just sit here and stare at myself for 15 minutes? I'm just going to get on, start to get some writing in before everybody jumps in. But I say it because then tomorrow I might not be on till noon, and I don't want to have people quarter of or something. I got that one from Jay Wilburn. Jay Wilburn would come on. He would be on at 10 a.m., but he would always be on at 9:51, and then he would put the starting soon. He would put that up on the screen, and then he would prepare himself to get on. And I used to do that on Twitch. I used to, because where you see me was used to be in the corner and the writing used to be here. So I would put up a sign that said, starting soon or whatever the hell it did. And they love this Mike's Hot Honey on everything. House says, noon for you is 9 a.m. for me, which is early for somebody who doesn't go to sleep until 3 a.m. Just stay up all night. Stay up. I'm worth it. Yeah, that would be a lot. Maybe I'll wait till tomorrow to get pizza. And I'll get it from KT's Pizza. Just that's what I did. I had an animated Jack Torrance typing away at the overlook inside of a broken TV, the scrolling bar that said "going live soon" or some crap like that. Yeah. Haas says this pizza issue is a real hurdle for you. You have no idea. You have no idea. This is just brutal for me. Wow. So they're deluxe Sicilian, right? Pepperoni, beef, sausage, ham, bacon, and cheese on Sicilian style thick crust. $33.79. What is this crap? $34 for a pizza. Yeah, because my wife doesn't like pizza all the time, and I want pizza. But there's a lot. I'm in Florida, so there's a ton of crappy pizza places here. I'm just trying to find a good Sicilian pie. That's all. I mean, is that too much to ask? Yeah, I'll wait till tomorrow. We'll do this all over again tomorrow. Just warning you now. I might go up to the Chico's place though. 37 divided by 3 meals. Yeah. You stick to your plan. Yeah. But hey, you are supposed to be writing right now, so you know what they say when man plans. Yeah. Stop planning is what they say. That's the thing. Where's Carmine's? I'm gonna look at one more. That's it. Oh, that's way too far. Maybe I'll go to Jack's Beach tonight. Take a ride to Jack's Beach. God laughs is the answer. He laughs too much. So I was writing on my MacBook this morning. That's all. I was writing on my MacBook. All right. Everybody good to know that? Everybody's good with that. Well, I've gone over an hour though, right? Talking about pizza. I'm envious of most of the rest of the country having better pizza, except for St. Louis. St. Louis has awful pizza, and you can't tell me it's any different. But man, I miss a good New York, New Jersey, good real pie. I got a couple hundred words in. My stomach is roiling. What kind of hippie uses a Mac exactly? Go to Redneck Beach and crack open a frozen pizza, throw it on the grill, put your toes in the sand. You know what? That's not a bad plan. Throw it on the girl. Throw it on a random redneck girl. I really feel like at some point Nick is going to be like, I'm coming a day early or a day late, and you're going to take me to Redneck Beach. And I'd be like, fine with that. Bruh, I got no problem with that, bruh. That's what us young kids say. Young kids say, bruh. Come on, all recipes, do better. Different ways to make bologna sandwiches. I don't want bologna sandwiches. Am I some kind of animal? Happy the Hound is on Twitch. What are you writing about? I don't even know at this point. Trying to get some words in on my Southern Gothic noir thriller book. I'm over 45,000 words into it, so it's going to be over 80, I believe. Bra is definitely in my 21-year-old's vocabulary. Yeah, I say bruh, BRUH. That's what us kids say. That's what us 15-year-olds say. 21-year-olds, they know too much already. My son, still to this day, 30 years old, loves to say to me, Dad, real talk. And man, I hate that. He knows that drives me nuts for some reason. Like, don't ever say that to me again. He says it every time I'm with him. Dad, real talk. Working on my dark fantasy shifter romance. Nice. Good luck getting it moving. I need to get some writing in here. I need to just ignore everybody for like 5 minutes. I get like 8 minutes of writing in that time. Heavy the Hound says, I'm working on draft 2. Nice. Keith says, good luck ignoring this crowd. Haas says, just use the arm and everybody else. That's not even funny. Chess says, but also has a face tattoo. Yeah, my kid wants to get another face tattoo. And I'm like, stop with the face tattoos. Real talk, Jay. No face tattoos. That's what I say. Tri says, my kid started saying bro, bruh a couple of years ago. I started saying it around him so he would think it was lame and stop. He stopped saying it, but now every once in a while I'll accidentally say it. But you trained yourself to say it. He low-key has a face tattoo that's fire, probably. Make fun of that kids when they call their women bro or dude. Yeah. He's got one of his dog's names above his eyebrow. Like, that's dumb. He's always like to shut. He's always like, I'm gonna get your name tattooed on me. She's like, no, you're not. That's gonna be one of your Christmas presents. No. Here's a good Christmas present. Don't ever do that. That would be a great Christmas present. I think I'm going to leave the house later today. It doesn't get dark till 8 o'clock. I'd be good. I'd be able to see. Go find a new place to get some food. Look at me doing adult things by myself. And also, I have no friends, so I got you call anybody and go, hey, do you want to go get some food? I don't have anybody like that. Yeah, my stomach does not feel good. I'm talking about going out and getting food. I might not even be able to. Mother Boy has a few neck tattoos. I begged him not to do it. He did not meet that request. No. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's easier now to get a job with face tattoos and neck tattoos than it was when I was growing up. I mean, even 15 years ago when I was, managing stores, basically you got a face tattoo or neck tattoo, you got something you can't cover up, you ain't getting a job. Now everywhere I go, everybody's got tattoos. There's the Dunkin' I go to at times. After I leave when I do the Florida Writers Association thing, I'll go to the Dunkin' there. And this young girl, I mean, she's got a butterfly, a neck, her whole neck is this bright blue butterfly. And I'm like, why are you putting her in the drive-thru? We had 2 kids come around a couple weeks ago. They asked if there was any yard work or anything to do because they needed money. My wife's like, if you want to pull the weeds out of the flower beds up front, and then they were like, yeah, we're saving up to get tattoos. My wife's like, how old are you? Like 14. I'm like, are you even old enough to go? Yeah, my mother signed off. They both had a tattoo already. Like, you're 14. I heard that. And I want to say, well, your mother is an awful person. You let a 14-year-old get tattoos. Haas says, I don't have any tattoos. I could never think of anything that I wanted on my person for that long. Chess says, fortunately, has a great paying job that is secure. Right, which makes sense. I always say to my son, if you stop being a tattoo artist, where are you getting a job? But he does love what he does, so I guess there is that. Tries to just have one tattoo on my arm that's easily hidden. Did you spell my name right at least? I have no tattoos. My wife, no tattoos. That's the way I like it. I could never think of anything that I would want on my body, like permanent. You know, that for the rest of my life, I'm going to be like, yeah, that's, yeah. Keith says, I have two. Lisa has one. Nice. What did your tramp stamp say, Keith? Anything cool? My son always lets me know about some of the women that come in and the various intimate places on their body that he tattoos. Hard cannon in the house. Same. I prefer any style I wear to be interchangeable. Armin was here, is what it says. That's what I figured. And anytime Lisa's back there giving it to you, she always has to read that. Tattoos are not interchangeable. Lisa says you must be this tall to ride. I told you my son, the one that he did, my favorite one was the girl wanted on the top of her butt, putting down to her butthole, and it said, "If I'm drunk, put it in here." And she was so excited to have that tattoo. There's Frank. He says, Ugh, was walking around the job with safety auditors from insurance company. Talk about getting it dry. Know what I'm saying? Oh, I know what you're saying. I get that here too all the time. Frank in the house. See, if I ended this a half an hour ago, Frank would not have been around. I mean, still no Nick, but whatever. Harkat says, her poor children if she ever brings them to the beach or public pool. Yeah, they both had and again, they're 14 years old. I'm just, it's not being racist, but they were very dark-skinned African Americans. So they had tattoos on their matching tattoos on their shoulders, and I don't even know what they were because it was just so dark. I can only imagine what she looks like, right? I would imagine mom is tatted up as well. Is it a bit racist, Charlie? Then I apologize. I apologize for being racist, Charlie. I don't think it is. I think it's just a fact. It's a fact that you have dark skin and then you have a tattoo on it that you can barely read what the tattoo is. Is that racist? Maybe. Did you recommend they use pastels on their next ink? I should have, right? But they pulled a bunch of weeds real quick. My wife gave them $20. Whatever. Effie the Hound says, my book is the first book in a series I'm working on. It's meant to be part of his 6-book series. Good luck with it. Keep it going. Get more words in than I get in usually when I'm sitting here. Frank says, I'm white and have a tattoo of a polar bear in a snowstorm on my chest. That's impossible to see against the background of my pastiness. There you go. My brother would always say this dumb thing when anybody would talk about tattoos. He'd be like, oh, I have a rabbit tattoo on my ass. And then he would turn around and would pull his pants down. And then he would go, oh, it must have run into the hole. And he would do that every time we were out. And usually because he was high as a kite and drunk. Anytime somebody would bring up a tattoo, I'd be like, oh, no, here we go. My brother's going to show his ass again. Arcan says, that's not racist. Darker skin is objectively a more canvas for ink to show up on. You need lighter inks on a darker canvas for the contrast, just like the polar bear tattoo on the white skin. Right. I didn't say it to be racist. I just said it to be, it's a fact. Why are you getting a dark tattoo on dark skin? Franks can only be seen under the northern lights. Yes. One time, me and Frank were in Alaska together, and I looked up. I said, "Oh, the aurora borealis," and I look, "Oh, and your polar bear tattoo. I can see all these things." I hope you've put that tattoo story into one of your stories. Actually, that's definitely in one of my crime thriller stories. I don't think it's sold yet. Is the girl with the tattoo? But my favorite, and I sold the story. Frank knows it, so I'll give you the quick version of this story. Free story time. My son, a guy comes in and he says, my son likes to do letters. Okay. And the guy comes in and he says, "Here, I would like you to do this tattoo." And my brother says, "What?" He says, "It's Arabic." The guy was Arabic. And he says, it translates to, "I'm not my brother's keeper," in Arabic. My son says, "I can do it, but I'm just copying basically it's symbols to me. So you got 100% when I trace it, whatever I do, you got 100%. You're going to clear it." And then I got nothing wrong with it. He's like, "All right, no problem." He's like, "And this is correct?" He's like, "Yeah, I looked it up. I Googled it. It's fine." So he does the tattoo. The guy comes back a couple of days later and he's like, "Hey, we got a problem." What? He's like, "I went home and I showed this to my mom." And my mom looks at it and she laughs. And I say, "What's so funny? Did I spell it wrong?" She goes, "No, your tattoo literally says, 'I am not my brother's keeper,' in Arabic." He left the "in Arabic" part on. So you're reading it and it says "in Arabic" at the end. So my son's like, "I don't know. I'll charge you if you want me to a black box or something, but I don't know what else to tell you." Although that was a funny one. So I wrote a story. "I'm not my brother's keeper," in Arabic. Rabbit in the hole is objectively a great bit joke, except if you've heard it 400 times in your life. Everything else is, "I plan to get a Yosemite Sam tattoo on my arm in honor of my grandpa." Your grandpa was Yosemite Sam? Can you help me? We have a celebrity in the room. So yeah, I love hearing his stories because Yellowstone Sam. Because I will never get a tattoo. And here's the thing. I don't like needles. I don't like blood. None of those things interest me. We have the offspring, right? The offspring of a celebrity. No, he had one on his arm. I plan to do the same. Keith says, "Hurts so good." No, that's John Mellencamp. You're thinking of John Mellencamp. Ah, good times. I'm thinking I might do that 2-for-1 thing with the pasta tonight. And then tomorrow get a Sicilian pizza. He was singing about tattoos. I don't know what he's singing about. "I want to get a wolf on my other arm," Haffy the Hound says. So then they can fight? So Yosemite Sam can shoot the wolf? Hungry like the wolf? You're a big Duran Duran fan, maybe? I don't know what's going on here. My favorite animal is a wolf. Okay, that makes sense. Like if oh my god, I hate wolves, I'm gonna get a tattoo of it. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Just watching this lizard out here just bouncing and doing that weird neck thing. Stop that. All right, I think I'm going to wrap this up. Not feeling all that well. Keith says I have 2 dragon tattoos because they're my favorite. Because as a kid, you had dragons. Heavy Down says my room is covered in paintings and dream catchers, all of wolves. Nice. Keith says that's a mating ritual and don't interfere. I'm not interfering. Is that what that is? Them bouncing up and down like that? Let me look that up. Why do lizards bounce up and down? Primarily to communicate, acting as a form of lizard Morse code to defend territory, attract mates, and establish dominance. This behavior is common in species like anoles and bearded dragons. I believe that is a bearded dragon, too. Allowing them to show off strength, warn rivals to stay away, and impress potential mates. Why do lizards do push-ups? I mean, this motherfucker's got a lot of he got a lot of energy. Still doing push-ups. I mean, I'm sure it is, but aren't they made? Isn't this mating season now for these lizards? Although I think you're the one who told me that. When a lizard, particularly anoles, puffs its neck, it is extending a flap of skin called a dewlap to communicate. This behavior is primarily used by males to attract mates, defend territory from rivals, or warn off potential threats. It acts as a visual signal, often accompanied by head bobbing, which it is also doing. So yeah, this thing's trying to have some sex out here, make more little lizards. Yep, it's mating season. Everybody be careful out there. We just had all of the love bugs last week or the week before. 4,000 of them stuck onto my car windows. You guys are having sex. Watch where you're going. There's another lizard on the other side of the bench out here. Ooh, we're gonna get some fun. I'm gonna record it for YouTube. They're mating. Everybody wants some. Yep. Crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna be out of here. I'm gonna go lie down, and maybe my stomach will stop roiling. Alligators are on the move too, trying to get some. Oh, good. That's good to know. That's good. I'm gonna have to look under my car, make sure there's not an alligator under there trying to mate with me again. Feel better. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will see everybody tomorrow, since I'm not going anywhere tomorrow. I'm doing that interview with Kyra Rauda, Zoom, live on a Zoom thing instead of in person. Maybe some pizza might help your stomach. You know, I never really figured out the pizza thing is probably not till tomorrow. But today I might have Italian food. Maybe that will help my stomach. Take a nice ride. Ooh, that's not fun. All right, everybody. I'll see everybody hopefully tomorrow. I'll be on YouTube live tomorrow, so come join me over there. There's Nick. See you later, Nick.